All right, Daniel, thank you so much. Well, from cell phones to school computers, the Better Business Bureau says that scammers may be waiting to target your child. Whether it's working on a classroom assignment, doing homework, your children are almost always online, potentially opening the door to bad guys. And it's not just students. Around this time of the year, the social media feed usually flooded with adorable back-to-school photos. But photos that scammers or even predators should be able to see. So how should we stay safe online this school year? Well, joining me now is Chris Hadley with the BBB with some social media safety tips. Chris, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Great to be here. Just an exciting day. The babies are coming back to school, the high schoolers, seniors out there. Also the big kids, the college kids. Benedict starts this week and USC will be starting next week. So real exciting time.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of schools have already been back, a lot of welcoming their kids, but we have to talk about social media. So many of them are on iPads to even do homework. So what are some safety tips that these kids could, kind of look out for?
Well, a lot of the scams that are going on right now that we see are targeting the younger kids. And a lot of these are sites where they can get, purchase school supplies, purchase a lot of their books, pencils, and a lot of these sites, they are scam sites. They're very legitimate looking. They're very sophisticated looking. You can put orders into your bag there, and at the end of the day, what these sites are trying to do is they're trying to harvest information. They're trying to harvest credit cards. So that's a lot of them that we're seeing out there as well. As far as the social media that we're seeing is the back to school shopping sprees. Anytime that they're offering some type of free back to school offer, they're looking for some type of application fee. They're looking for personal information. So a lot of these fake sites out there are really doing their best to harvest as much information that they can, not only from the students, but also from the parents. They're targeting the parents as well.
So what are some maybe like red flags that when you see on a website, you're like, I don't really think this is right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, what we want folks to do is kind of stick to the big ticket, the Amazons of the world, the Targets of the world. Some of these sites are so sophisticated looking, it is very easy to mix it up with a different, more reputable website. So what we really want folks to do is just make sure you're doing their homework. Check with the Better Business Bureau. There's a lot of great review sites out there where you can find out, what type of reviews these folks have. And especially for your big ticket items, Christy, folks are buying laptops, maybe they're buying PCs.
Right.
And this, right now, the economy that we're in, folks are wanting to save some money. But if they can really just do their homework, make sure they're on a reliable site, that way in the long run, we don't have to get a phone call and then we let them know that this is a scam website and they've lost their money and there's probably not anyone that can help them. Yeah. Anytime they're asking for iTunes cards, for Apple cards, those are major red flags right there.
So, and also you said it's not just targeting students, but it's also really targeting those parents or shopping and also what they post on social media too.
Correct, 100%. And then we kind of get into college students. One of the big things that we're seeing is the student debt relief.
Okay.
There's a lot of third-party sites out there. The U.S. Department of Education handles those type of things. So we want to make sure that when the student debt relief, that they are actually talking to the U.S. Department of Education. And there's no magic third-party company out there that's going to take that student debt relief away from you. So just make sure that you're doing your homework. And at the end of the day, if you take a few minutes and know who you're doing business with, if you have any issues, there's a lot of services out there, including the Better Business Bureau, that can help you out.
Is there any way that they can kind of see those? So I love the reviews. That's a really easy way for somebody to just do kind of like a quick Google search.
Correct.
But are you maybe they're asking for a little bit too much information maybe when you're in there?
They could be.
Okay.
One of the great things about like the Better Business Bureau website, we vet all of our customer reviews. We contact the business, we contact the consumer to make sure that those are legitimate customer reviews. So same thing with the customer reviews. Make sure you're doing your homework because there are a lot of third-party sites out there that are generating false customer reviews.
Wow, okay. And then also for parents, they're always taking photos of their back-to-school photos of their little ones.
Sure.
Now, one thing I'm reading too with the BBB, it's maybe not post too much information about where they're going to school and stuff like that. Why is that? that?
Well, you want to be safe. Scammers are smart. Whatever the season it is, whatever the tragedy that's going on, they're going to use that to capitalize on it. So just be really careful out there with the information that you're sharing on your kids.
Yeah, Chris, thank you so much for coming in this morning and really sitting down and giving us all this information here.
Yes,
now, we're going to be putting this on our website at WLTX.com, so you can have all of that information there. Chris, thank you again.
Okay, thank you.
And after the break, we have 3 things to know happening around the world, including that dramatic penalty shootout between the U.S. and Sweden in the Women's World Cup. Stay with us.